Hi, my name is Teresa Contino, and I am an English and psychology double major. And the name of my study is Gamifying Repeated Testing. Can checklists improve studying habits? So I was interested in exploring how gamifying repeated testing can be used to improve people's persistence levels when engaging in a picture word pair task. In this case, participants saw a picture of a bird and their species names and had to engage in self-testing exercises. So prior research has shown that when people choose to study, they engage in autonomous self-regulation, which is associated with better task performance, creativity, persistence, and higher levels of vitality. Um, when we can gamify studying habits, it encourages students to feel this sense of autonomous self-regulation. So they want to voluntarily persist in their positive studying behaviors. For example, by keeping track of or comparing their progress to others. So, prior research has also shown that repeated retrieval practice, meaning testing yourself for at least 3 times on a given vocabulary word or picture bird or bird picture word pair, is a critical studying tool for long-term retention and is the best studying strategy. So my study predicts that if students are informed of the benefits of retrieval practices and also provided with a gamified approach to learning, with a checklist, they will be more likely to persist in multiple choice practice rounds and also perform better in the final recall test at the end of the study session. So this is my method. There were 3 conditions. In the control condition, they received no information about the benefits of retrieval practice. In the second condition, they received instructions that informed them about the benefits for long-term retention of self-testing, but they did not receive a paper handout with a checklist. But in the final in experimental condition, they were given information about the benefits of retrieval practices and also a paper handout with a checklist. And so they were asked to put a little check mark every single time they got a correct answer when studying. So after they were given all of that information and sat down, they saw this bird picture word list for 2 minutes. So that gave them some time to look at the answers. And then they had the option to take up to 5 multiple choice practice tests where they could self-test themselves. But again, only the experimental group had this gamified approach where they put a check mark every time they got the bird correct. And then finally, they took a final recall test where they had to type in the name of the species of the bird into a box instead of answer multiple choice questions about the bird picture word pairs. And there were 20 total species to learn. So these are the results. So there was an effect on the study plan on persistence levels, meaning those who had the checklist participated in more practice rounds than people in the control group. However, participants in the control group remembered just as much as participants in the instructional study plan group and the interactive study plan group. Overall, the instructions paired with the checklist resulted in higher persistence levels among students. However, the degree to which people used the checklist had no effect on their persistence or accuracy on final recall, meaning about 10 out of the total 40 participants chose not to use the checklist, but the majority of them actually opted for the checklist within the experimental group. And the association between the interactive study use and persistence could be explained by a student's willingness to simply read and follow directions or their level of conscientiousness coming into the study. One way to maybe account for the caveat in them having the same final recall scores is asking the students to come back to the study after a couple weeks and see if their long-term retention was actually better than the control group. So that's one future direction for this study. But overall, gamified learning strategies must be designed and implemented well to increase a student's level of engagement with the task, increase their levels of inherent motivation, and hopefully make the task inherently satisfying and enjoyable to the students so they feel like they want to persist in this positive habitual behavior and implement it into their usual studying habits. Thank you.